Hey, storytellers and readers, welcome to another episode of I'll Read That, the show where your stories get heard. Whether you're an unpublished author, a self published independent, or just someone with a tale to tell, this is your space to shine. In each episode, I'll read your story submitted aloud, giving you a voice, a platform, and most importantly, a chance to grow as an artist. You'll get feedback from fellow writers, readers, and other creatives to help sharpen your craft and take your storytelling to the next level. So, if you've been waiting for someone to just say, I want to read that, you found your place. Submit your story, get heard, and let's grow together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you got something worth sharing, send it to me. So, we're back in Thassodar Jax, Galactic Ranger, Part 6. So, this is a book by David Jace, Chapter 5, Hot Pursuit, number 17. Species Log, Human Jax Earth, 2010-09. It is worth noting that humans have not been the only sentient species to develop on this planet. They are, however, the only known sentient species left, or at least the ones who have overtaken the dominion of the planet. In their history, I have discovered references to other species, long extinct, who may have been equally, or in some cases perhaps more, sentient and intelligent than humans. The first and most likely of these were dragons, or as they were called in more modern terms, dinosaurs. There are accounts of dinosaurs hoarding up rare jewels and currency into vast treasures that early humans attempted to wrest away from them. The abilities of these ancient species are said to be formidable. In addition to their intelligence, breathing fire being the supreme example, whether this was a natural ability of dinosaurs, reference the residents of Guamuri 3 who have a sulfur heavy diet, or a technological development that was lost with their extinction, there is really no way to know. To this day, humans have grand temples to the memory of these ancient beings, with great dragon skeletons on display called museums. While dragons are the most likely candidate of alternative sentience on this planet, others exist in their history, such as unicorns, a form of equine with reportedly remarkable abilities primarily housed in its single forward horn. Many other extinct species on record, centaurs, mermaids, lycanthropes, and fauns, etc., though evidently sentient, were described as part human, and were probably either examples of mutation or imagination. It is not determinable whether the humans actively hunted down the other species, though. There are many accounts of primitive human tribes and later medieval knights doing that on a small scale. It is possible that the rise and extinction through whatever cause of these other sentient species may explain the abundance of life energy in humans. Section 18. Thassodar parked behind the theater. The star had already set over the western horizon, and the area lights of the building parking lot had turned on, casting illumination in wide circles. Close to the front of the building, the circles of light overlapped. Farther away, there were large realms of comparable darkness, such as this back area where trucks made deliveries during the day. He was in a casual disguise, face makeup, gloves, a long trench coat, and a broad brimmed hat, but better not draw attention to himself. A light mist of precipitation commenced as he strode around the side of the theater. At the front, a group of solemn people were building a shrine on the front sidewalk of the building. Printed images of the missing people, blossoms of colorful plants, letters, and wax candles. He slowly paced as he went by, looking at the various pictures and offerings. He suspected such ritual was connected to the many altars for their religious icons that had been observed around the planet and studied in their histories. Through these rituals, they believed that the living could speak to the dead, or to the gods who reside on other planes of existence. The life energy of these species was too strong and plentiful. He could not be sure it was as foolish as it first seemed. When he reached the front doors, he found them blocked by yellow police tape that read, "Do not cross." He ducked under it and tried the first door. Locked. They all were. He glanced around. No one was paying him any attention. He pulled a small but powerful electromagnet from the pocket of his trench coat and applied it to the door. It took only a moment to rotate the magnet, reversing the bolt that held it secured. He opened the door and slid inside. A few more minutes and he had disabled the alarm system. He hoped humans would learn to upgrade their security before they decided to really venture into space. The building was empty, though. The building was empty, though he was sure police officers had been all through it at this point. He doubted that wisps of hair and fingerprints would solve this mystery. He headed to the door marked Manager's Office. It was a tiny room with a cheap desk of composite wood pieces pressed together and covered with a petroleum-based plastic. The walls were still on their first coat of original off-white paint. A primitive computer, even by current human standards, took up half the desk. Beside it on a table were the security monitors he was looking for. With a little luck, perhaps the perpetrators had underestimated just how low-tech human security was. He was in luck. The theater had cameras in the hallways and recorded their data on the local hard drive. He ran back through the camera images until he spotted familiar faces from his research. Hermes Olympus and Ruler Shold. They were leading the crowd of people who inexplicably seemed to follow them willingly to the back of the theater. But the recording told him nothing more. He tried viewing other cameras. They all held the same images. Crowds of people following Hermes Olympus with no evident duress at all. Then he found the camera from the docking bay. He scrubbed it back to the view of the truck backing into the bay. The doors opened, but one of them blocked the camera. For just over an hour, the door was all he could see. Then the door moved and he glimpsed a face. He paused the recording, moved it back frame by frame until he saw what he suspected, the face of Hernandez Grote. He stared at the image for some time, breathing, measured and slow. He turned the screen off and left the office. He slipped through the front door and walked past the shrine of pictures again, his thoughts on how to find these criminals. Hey, I know you. Thassodar paused as a voice confronted him. He blinked a couple times at the person standing in his way, a dark-haired, brown-skinned female human. He didn't have time for old partners at this moment. His anger was giving him plenty of energy. He ignored her and pushed past. Don't walk away from me. You're the one she was with. The girl grabbed a picture from the shrine wall and shoved it in his face. Remember her? That was my friend. What'd you do to her? Thassodar blinked again and looked at the picture. He knew her. The girl from the club the other night. Jennifer, perhaps, or Juliana. He looked at the female before him who was still talking and raised her voice. He recalled her now, too, the concerned friend. Her name was Jessica. You were the last one to see her, and now she's missing. You're probably the one that took all these people. Her voice grew even louder, and the people were starting to look at them. Please, young female, your friend and I just had a good time that night. I had nothing to do with this. Then why are you here, huh? Back to the scene of the crime? That's what killers do, right? You go back to the scene of the crime? The growing curiosity of the small crowd was making Thassodar nervous. He didn't need this attention. He had business to take care of. I didn't hurt your friend. Please excuse me. He stepped around the female again and hurried toward the corner, but the girl followed him. Don't you walk away from me. I'm talking to you, and I want to know what you did with her. Thassodar turned the corner and increased his speed, eager to get away from the loud little brown female. As she saw him hurrying away, she stopped yelling and started running to catch up. Young female, please go away. You are mistaken in your conjectures. He called over his shoulder. His pace took him further toward the back of the theater and away from the parking lot lights. Just as he reached the edge of the shadows where he was better concealed, she caught up with him. She grabbed for his sleeve, but clutched his glove instead. The glove came away in her hand, revealing his natural cobalt blue skin tone in the light's edge. He stopped short and snatched the glove back from her. What the f... Forget what you saw. Forget you saw anything and go back to the front of the building. Thassodar stared into her wide brown eyes. A car turned around into the parking lot and the headlights flashed across his own darker brown face. But the lights were too bright, too direct, and his orange eyes flashed in reflection. She gasped, but did not retreat. What are you? Please, go away. He turned to continue to the back of the theater and the security of his vehicle. Why did this human make him so uncomfortable? I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what you did with Jessica. She snatched his glove away again. And you better tell me or I'll tell everyone what I've seen. Thassodar spun around and grabbed her by the shoulders. I didn't hurt her, and if you think you can threaten me, you're mistaken. Who would believe what you've seen? She retorted, How fast do you think those people will come running if I scream that you're touching me? Who do you think the police will believe if I tell them you're going to rape me? He let go, stepped back, and glared at her instead. Fine. Follow me and we'll find out where she is. Then you can go away. Okay? Bet. She only let the silence survive a few steps. Did you rape Jessica? Put something in her drink? No, I never handled her drinks, and I did not force myself on her. He took back his glove and put it back on his hand as he walked to the car with her following. She's probably just at home or at another club. How are you going to find her? Put a tracker on her. You did what? It's standard procedure. He opened the door to his car for her. You just said you put a tracker on my friend and now you want me to get in your car? You must be crazy. You're the one that wants to find Jennifer. Jessica! Damn, man. Fine. But I'm leaving the door open and you better not try anything. Wouldn't dream of it. Thassodar walked around to his side and slid into the driver's seat. He turned on the dashboard display and pressed the expanded view that put the display across the entire windshield. Okay, that's cool, the female commented, watching what he was doing. He sighed, frustrated to realize he had just shown her even more information that she shouldn't be seeing. Don't mention it. Seriously. Thassodar accessed the remote tracker information system and searched for Jessica's tracker ID. There she is, right? Thassodar checked the information again. Here. He looked out the window. Outside the window stood the dark building and an empty parking lot. He looked at the information again. The tracker was offline. It was displaying the last known location. I don't see her here. The brown skinned female crossed her arms with a determined expression. He pulled up the more detailed history. Her tracker had gone offline shortly after 1 p.m., which was the end of the time frame for the theater abduction. They took her. Who is they? Her voice had lost some of its edge with this confirmation that her friend was not just missing, but had been taken by someone. The people I'm looking for. They took her with the others. I need to go. I have to find out where they took her. Thassodar reverted to the windshield to its usual state and turned on the engine. Get out. The female closed the door firmly, still sitting in the passenger seat. What are you doing? She buckled her seatbelt. I'm coming with you. You're what? No. Get out of the car. You said we'd find Jessica, so let's go find her. It's not that simple. Thassodar wasn't sure how to handle this headstrong little human. Look, I don't have time for this. Get out. Well, I do have time for this. I've seen enough to know something weird is going on, and my friend is in trouble. So I'm coming with you to get her back, whether you like it or not. Because if you try to get rid of me, I'm going straight to the police and I'm going to tell them everything I've seen tonight. She turned and looked at him, her arms crossed over her chest. Thassodar glared at her again. Fine. So where to, Mr. Cat-Eyed Supercar Blue Man Group Reject? I don't know yet. He buckled his seatbelt and pulled out of the parking lot into the unknown darkness. Okay. I'm gonna apologize in advance. I'm not sure if I was able to get the cadence of each character properly, but um, I'm liking it so far. I did have one thing that I was a little annoyed about, and that is the word bet. I assumed Destro was a little bit older than this, and that Jessica and her friend were probably a little older than this. And I know most, in at least my age range, don't say bet, but I'm fairly old. So maybe we're talking in the early 20s, late teens, early 20s. But if they're in a club, I'm gonna say early to mid 20s, probably where these characters are developing. But yeah, uh, you know, you guys can't see it, but in the beginning of these kind of chapter notes, the species log, it's written like a report, like a field report. That's cool to talk about, the human elements and stuff, and kind of the way it's determined by humans and whatnot. But I'm gonna go back to this. Thassodar has been living on this planet for who knows how long. He shouldn't be using these kind of arbitrary descriptions of human things. Um, you know, and it's not consistent, and that's the only thing that I'm getting hung up on. But other than that, I'm really liking the pace of everything that's going on, and I'm not a huge sci-fi guy, so um, please, guys, if you've got a story just waiting to be read, I want to read it. Send me your stories, send me your works. The email address is in the description below, and you might be featured in the next episode of I'll Read That. Help me build this community where writers support writers, and everybody's story has a shot at being heard. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please drop your thoughts in the comment, your critiques, good, bad, or in between, because your feedback could help other writers, not just this one, help grow their craft and their stories. So remember, everybody, keep writing, and I'll read that.